Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Levi, and today we're going to hear from Geoff McLachlan. He's a professional speaker who's inspired and encouraged thousands of lives, and I can't wait for you to hear from him today. Welcome to the Morning Mindset. Right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. We got Geoff McLachlan on the line. Geoff, how you doing, man?
I am doing awesome, Levi. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. The sun's shining, so I got coffee in hand talking to you, so I'm excited.
That's rad. You know what? Me too. That's one of the things I'm grateful for is the sunshine.
Yep.
Because got hot coffee, sunshine, cool temperatures. It's one of my favorite times of the year where it's cool at night and it's starting to warm up during the day. I absolutely love this time of year.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to be alive on the planet and living in the grace that I have been given.
I love it, Geoff. I love it, man. Well, Geoff. First off, thanks for starting this call off just on a positive note. That's what I love about you is you're just so grateful. You're always so grateful, and you exude joy. So thank you for that, man. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, Geoff. Who is Geoff or Geoff, as I say?
Geoff. Well, first of all, I got to thank my parents for naming me Geoff. Pronounced Jeff, but none of my friends ever got it right. So I've been Geoff my entire life. I'm just a big furry guy that lives in beautiful upstate Idaho. I've got an amazing family, an incredible wife who is, I'm married way out of my league.
Come on, me too.
So,
let's go.
I know, right? I'm of the mindset that anybody that's lucky enough to get married and find somebody that wants to spend the rest of their life with that person has been lucky enough.
We married up. I agree.
We married up, for sure. I know, man. Our wives are amazing.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I got two beautiful boys that I absolutely love that are incredible. As a matter of fact, I've been working on a project for me right now. They're building a Lego set that I bought.
Nice. Put them to work. Put them to work, man.
Exactly. They got to have brain exercises and they got to be doing stuff. And it's fun because they love it and they think it's for them, but really it's for me.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So let's see here. Other than that, what do I do? All the fun stuff. I'm a professional speaker and travel the country and, work with organizations and people on, kindness and how do we get along and how do we communicate effectively and create the strongest teams possible. And, I love my friends, my family, and I'm just so lucky, man. I'm totally blessed. That's
so awesome, Geoff. Hey, tell me a little bit about your company, Professionals at Play.
Well, Professionals at Play is a company that I started a few years ago. I have been a professional speaker for about 15 years now, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I started Professionals at Play because I did a lot of work in schools. And I still work in schools. I actually do most of my work is in schools, but I'm transitioning and have been transitioning for the last couple of years into the business world. Mostly because adults saw what I did with students and they started saying, well, why don't you do that with adults? Because adults need that just as much as kids do.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So it's all based on play and how do we get along and how do we take care of each other and how do we have a difficult conversation with somebody that, we have to see every day. If you're at work, it's so much easier to go and enjoy the work that you do if you like the people you work with and you like the job.
Absolutely.
And so it's just all about how do we get along as a human being with other human beings who have all sorts of life experiences. So, and then I do coaching and corporate events and keynotes and all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm like I said, I'm lucky and blessed and I love what I do and I love the people that I get to serve.
That's so awesome, Geoff. So Geoff, all of us, or most of us, I would say, who are in business and just kind of approach life the way you do, we have a why behind what we do. So let me ask you, what's your why, or what drives you on a day-to-day basis, both personally and professionally?
It's kind of funny. I love your dad. Your dad is an amazing human being.
Yeah, he is.
He has been a huge inspiration to me. And I think that he put his whole purpose was helping people win at business and life.
Yeah.
And the moment he said that resonated with me so hard. Mine has always been to help people.
Yeah.
I've always been a helper. I've always been the first person to step up, whether it was family and say, what do you need? How can I serve? How can I help? And that's been going on my entire life. I mean, I guess that was the example that I was given through, family and friends of we help each other. We might not have a lot. I grew up in a family of teachers and preachers. So, we didn't have a lot, but what we did have was time and talent and gifts that we could give to other people in terms of service. And so I guess my why has always been to serve others. And that's just been ingrained with me personally and professionally. No matter who I'm with, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of them the best I can. And, and I do that because I truly believe that that's my God-given purpose on this planet, is to help as many people as I possibly can to be the best that they can possibly be, so that they can help others be the best that they can be.
That's so awesome. I love that. And as we talk about helping others, and I know you and I were talking, and you went out and ordered some takeout last night, right, from a local restaurant. And it's no secret, right? We all know our world has kind of been flipped upside down, and we're being asked to go about things differently. And so as you have this why to help people, to help others, how have you been able to go about that, both in your business, but also just in your day-to-day life with the current landscape of what we're living in?
Well, this current landscape is very different than what we are all used to. And it's been a change. It's been a pivot and a shift in terms of there's a lot more phone conversations going on. And I have been, for a very long time, I have been talking about not necessarily the downfalls, but the problems that we have with electronics, the addictive nature of them, and how when we're together with somebody else, that instead of being present in the moment, we're on an electronic device, and we're not really present, and we're not really there. And now that we have this shift, we can actually use, and this is one of the things that I've been doing, is using this little tool that we all have in our pocket as a means of communicating with a larger audience. And of putting out a positive message, and of getting on, I've done, golly, I can't even tell you, a number of podcasts, a number of phone calls, video conferences, where it's really been connecting. How do we connect with people in this age of disruption? And using the tools that we have to really let people know that we care, because there's some certain things that are really exceedingly challenging. So I talk a lot about play. But one of the things is how do you play remotely? How do you engage with people? We can have a conversation, and that's awesome. But I prefer a face-to-face conversation. I prefer a handshake and a hug.
Absolutely.
And those things are important because they release certain chemicals in your brain that are vital for humans taking care of each other. And so if we didn't get enough of those before this, it's gonna be real interesting to see what happens after this. I think that people are gonna be a little more wary of handshakes and hugs.
Totally, There's gonna be a lot more elbow bumps.
There's gonna be elbow bumps, and that, to me, your immune system is bolstered by human contact. But it's also how you get diseases. So
totally,
like, what do we do? Half a dozen of one, six of the other. So but I've been really reaching out to a lot of people, not only online but also personally in phone calls. And I've done a couple of drive-bys with my parents.
That's awesome.
We stay in the car, and my parents just celebrated their 48th wedding anniversary.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
And so we just did a drive-by at their farm. And we all stayed in our cars, and we just shouted questions to them. Like, we did like a newlywed game for them. And we were all, socially distanced appropriately because we're locked in our cars. They were in the barn. And we just shouted at them from 20 feet away, like, what's your favorite memory? And they shared things about it. It was awesome.
That is so cool, Geoff. I seriously love that. That's awesome.
So that's kind of what we're doing, is just trying to reach out to as many people as we possibly can and make sure our friends are okay.
Absolutely. Well, and that's all we can do, right? I mean, I think it's important, like you said, because we can't have that physical contact or connection with people, but we don't have to be, we don't have to be distant in terms of just communicating and being there for one another and helping each other. So it sounds like you're doing that, and you've found a way to make that work, and I think that's awesome.
Super important.
Oh, absolutely. So Geoff, this little segment's called The Morning Mindset, right? And you know my story. And I talk a lot about mindset, and I've heard you talk about it as well. And so one thing I want to ask you is, how do you describe mindset to other people?
Mhm. Well, I would say that your mindset is your personal mental. Let me see if I can think of this right. Sorry, one of my kids just jumped into the bedroom and started making noise.
Of course.
Joyce, so I don't know about a lot of people, but my house is slightly smaller than a lot of people's big garages. So
Okay.
I'm in under 1,000 square feet. So
Yeah.
like, there we go. Now I'm putting the weight in front of the door so
Love
nobody
it.
can get in.
That's hilarious.
And then none of the locks on my doors work either because we had to take those out when the kids were small because they locked themselves in bedrooms and we couldn't get in.
Oh, yeah.
So back to the question.
Yeah.
What is mindset?
Yeah.
To me, mindset is simple. Mindset is your attitude that you choose in how you deal with the world and the situations that you're given.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and you get to choose your mindset.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in choice, and that's really difficult because I've talked to a couple of friends who've said, I'm like, I just have to get off of social media. It's so negative.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I thought, that's interesting, because I look at my social media feeds and 90% of my social media feeds are what people are doing that are positive in the world.
Totally. Yep.
Because that's the people I've put in my life.
Yeah.
I've put the people in that are the difference makers, the change makers, the people that are doing things in the world that are on the up and up.
Yeah.
And they're not fear-based. They're joy-based. They're happiness-based. They're faith-based. They are the people that are saying, I'm not going to live in fear.
Yep.
I'm going to take care of people as best I possibly can with the means that I have around me. And I think that is the epitome of mindset.
Absolutely. No, I love that you say that, and that you say that you surround yourself with the difference makers, the people who are choosing joy, that are faith-based. Because, man, I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, I mean, if you get on your social media and 90% of it's negative, you're probably following 90% of the wrong people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I've had a couple of conversations with people about, that are like, they're so anxiety. They're living in anxiety and fear.
Yeah.
And fear's a choice. I mean, I believe it was Gavin de Becker. He has a book called The Gift of Fear.
Okay, The Gift of Fear.
It's about the gift of fear. Phenomenal book.
Yeah.
It's really more along lines, not necessarily dealing with viruses or anything like that, but it's dealing with physical safety.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is that if you are in a state of fear, that's good, because that means whatever you think is happening is not actually happening to you. It's in your mind.
Yep. Wow.
And I went, oh man, that's crazy. And he goes, your fear is there to keep you safe. However, if you operate from a place of fear, if you operate out of what's going to happen if I do this, and then you get frozen, he says, now you're in a state of danger. And that's different. Danger is the actual effect of what fear creates.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my goodness. And so how do I operate in a state of positivity without that state of fear? I understand that fear is there to keep me safe. Yeah. But at the same time, I cannot operate out of fear. I have to operate out of the things that I know. What can I control? And so if you have to get out of your scared thinking, your non-thinking lizard brain, and into your frontal lobe, which is your cognitive understanding, giving yourself options, and then moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, so I 100% agree with you, Geoff, that mindset, our mental attitude is a choice. What would you say, how would you encourage someone who struggles with that? Because I've talked to people myself who actually feel like it's not a choice. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes they can feel kind of rubbed the wrong way, is what I've found. When I say, oh man, just like change your mindset. It sounds so much more simple, and maybe it just comes more naturally for people. But how would you encourage someone who might be struggling right now, specifically with, choosing to have the right mindset?
Right. I totally agree with you, because I have had that pushback before. Yeah. People saying it's not a choice. And I truly believe that a lot of it is a choice, and it's what you put into your mind. Yep. It's the things that you feed yourself. Now, yes, I know that everybody has their own personal story, and that has a huge amount to do with how your brain is hardwired and how you perceive information and how you perceive conversations. Yeah. However, a lot of my clients that I work with coaching, they have operated out of a place of fear and not out of a place of what can I do? Yeah. And not out of a place of power. So they've given their power away. Yep. by not operating in faith and hope and like joy and happiness.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe that unfortunately human beings tend to be programmed for negativity.
Yeah.
Simply because of how we grow up. Like if you're told no 40,000 times by the time you're like 7 or 8 years old, and you've only been told yes 5,000 times,
yeah,
you are automatically pre-programmed for negativity because the world is no, 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 no.
Wow.
So you have to start to program your brain with positivity, with like what we did this morning. Hey, what are you grateful for? Yeah. I'm great. That gratitude of, hey, you know what? The sun's shining.
Yep.
My bed is made. I got a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Great. There's 3 things. If you just practice 3 things every morning of what am I grateful for this morning?
Yeah.
Just do that for 30 days.
Yeah. That is so good. And I love that you say that, Geoff, because my next question for you, and maybe that's it, or maybe you have a couple other ones, but is what's the most critical daily routine or habit in your life that helps you start your day or approach your day with the right mindset?
That's a great question, because that is truly, I think your habits are the things that they start up as something you do and they become who you are.
Oh man.
And so if you do positive things in the morning, maybe it's just you take a little bit of time for yourself and you read something good. Yeah. I personally try not to check anything on social media or electronics for like the first half hour or 45 minutes of my day.
Awesome.
I just try and be present with my wife.
Yeah.
We have a cup of coffee. We sit on the couch.
Yeah.
We plan out our day. I usually do 8-minute abs, which is my favorite video online.
Come on. I love it.
All spandex.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if it was a drinking game, you'd be schnockered at 8 minutes because of the number of times it says, "Hey, gang. All right, gang. All right."
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Oh, dude, but I feel so much better when I take the time to take care of myself.
Absolutely.
And, if you only have 24 hours in a day, if you think about it, you sleep for a third of that.
Yeah.
If you sleep for 8 hours a day.
Yep.
So you're like, wow, that's kind of a crazy piece right there, right?
Yeah.
So then if you go to a job, you got another 8 hours. Well, now you're like 16 hours. You're like, holy cows, like my day is almost gone. And then you have like 1 to 2 hours of the day that you're actually doing, self-care, eating, taking care of yourself, showering, bathing, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yep.
And so now you're down to like, I've only got like 4 hours left in my day.
Yeah.
Well, 4 hours is actually quite a while. But then you add children. And then you add homework and going to and from things. And then all of a sudden, now you're down to like just a couple hours in the day that you have really to do the things that you need to do.
Yep.
And if you break it down then even further, what if you just took 15 minutes? Yeah. 15 minutes out of every single day to do something that brought you joy and happiness.
Yeah.
And that 15%, that 15 minutes out of your day is only 1% of your day.
Wow.
But that 1% can affect the entire rest of your day.
Yeah.
If you put them in the right place, if you take 15 minutes to do something that you enjoy, whether that's laughter, whether that's going for a walk in the woods, whether that is just meditating, it's stretching, it's doing a workout. I mean, just 15 minutes, 1% can completely change the rest of your day.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I love that. I really love that you said that, and even giving us that perspective of the 1%. If you can do that 1%, it will positively affect the rest of your day. I love that. Yeah. So Geoff, you know my story. You've heard me talk about the make it or break it point that I believe we experience, whether personally or professionally. I would say more than once in our life. You get what I'm saying? The make it or break it point, the time where we have a choice to give up, to give into our negative mental attitude, or we get through it. And so tell me about a time where you experienced a make it or break it point in your life.
I have to say again that I am incredibly lucky to have been blessed with such a phenomenal network of people. Yeah. My family, my friends, the people that I've always been surrounded with have been amazingly positive and supportive. Yeah. And I understand that not everybody has that. Yep. And so I've always had a really positive outlook. Awesome. And I can't honestly say that there was the closest thing that I can think of, I've had a really blessed life. Yeah. The closest thing that I can think of is when I got done with college. I had been married for oh golly, I don't know, 6 months or so.
Okay.
And I was trying to get teaching jobs. I have an education background.
Yep.
And I got my first teaching job, and it was a substitute position. So I was a substitute kindergarten teacher.
Wow. Okay.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And so I had, like, I think a 6-month contract because the teacher had to have a surgery, and I was like, okay, great. Well, yeah. I came back the next year and was like, okay, cool. And they said, wait, the teacher decided to take more time off. Can you keep subbing? And I was like, yes. And so I got to start off a class. And
awesome.
It was awesome, and I loved it. But then all of a sudden, it was literally, I think I went 8 months out of the 9-month school year with a classroom.
Wow.
And I loved it. It was great. And I thought, this is so cool. Well, then that year, I ended up, starting applying for other jobs. I kept applying because I was like, I need to get a full-time job, because as a sub, you don't actually get full-time. You don't get benefits. You don't get the medical. You don't get the retirement or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so here I am. I'm married. I'm young. I'm trying to get teaching jobs. I have substitutes. I have consistent work, which is great, but I don't have any benefits. And so along came a friend of mine, and he introduced me to the world of speaking. And the moment I did it, I knew that that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the hard part is that I was like, okay, this is my career. This is what I'm doing.
Yep. And
in that first year, I only had 7 days of speaking.
Wow.
I made about $6,000, $7,000.
Wow.
The first year I was a speaker, which is not enough to live on.
No.
And the moment, this is the funny part, I've been applying for jobs for like 2 years. The moment I said yes to speaking was the moment that I started getting job offers from schools.
Yep.
Saying, we want you
to it always works that way, right?
Right. And so here I am. Do I take a $45,000 a year job plus benefits and support my family and do I choose that safety? Do I choose that security?
Yeah.
Or do I choose to live in faith and the unknown and the potential of freedom?
Wow.
And that journey, it was honestly about 7 years of I was working my tail off night and day, weekends, doing whatever jobs I could to survive so that I could be a professional speaker.
Wow.
And it was, the very first year I was a speaker, I had 16 different jobs that I did so that I could actually be a speaker.
Wow.
And so that was hard,
That's
not only
crazy.
on my family, because it was just my wife and I, but it was challenging. And but I still had people saying, why don't you just become a teacher?
Totally. Yep.
And, but I still had other people that were saying, dude, you're really good at this. This is what you're supposed to do. Keep going.
Wow. Well, and I love that part of it, Geoff, because obviously now you are a professional speaker and you travel all over and you have a lot of opportunities every year. And so I would say that's absolutely like a make it or break it point, right? Because 6 or 7 years to have to do anything and everything just to survive and make it. I'm sure you experienced a lot of, should I do this? Should I not? And then you were getting it from other people. So how did your mindset affect that season of your life? How did you get through that season of your life and ultimately make it to where you are today?
Oh man, that's actually right around when I went from those first 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
I started to do more reading. I started to look at who's done this before me that has been successful. I started to look for mentors and coaches.
Awesome.
And I was, again, completely blessed that I had people put into my life that were professional speakers that were willing to help me. And I cannot tell you, I've got a small library of probably, I don't know, a few hundred books on personal development.
Just a small one.
A small one. I love books.
Yeah.
I was a reading major. It's one of my favorite things. I can't wait to have a library.
Yeah.
But I really did. I worked on, right around the time I truly said that I'm a professional speaker.
Yeah.
Was about the time that I was able to really start investing in, hiring a coach.
Yeah.
And actually doing the things, going to seminars, learning, really actively engaging in how do I make myself better.
Yeah.
And just that process of not only being aware of it, but having the help, whether that was a book or an actual coach that I had paid and invested in. It was a lot. And I think over the course of the last 7 or 8 years, I probably invested close to $50,000 in my education and in my brain.
Wow.
And so I think that you should always be willing to invest in yourself at the level that you can, that you're comfortable with.
Yep.
And then just a little bit beyond, so that it creates that pressure to actually do what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, and I love that piece that you said about the time that you said out loud, you believed it, that I am a professional speaker. Things started to shift for you. And and tell me, would you say that was a mindset shift?
That was a huge mindset shift.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that say I'm a speaker.
Yep.
And I say there's a difference between I'm a speaker and I'm a professional speaker.
Absolutely.
And
I love that.
If people really want to up their game, whether that's speaking or whatever job you do, say I'm a professional, whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
And you will start acting like a professional.
Wow. Yep. Well, and I love that because, what I like to say and what I've told a lot of people is that what you think about and focus on consistently, you move towards, right? So that's our mindset.
Always.
That's our thoughts. Yeah. And when your thoughts shift from I'm a speaker to I'm a professional speaker, you begin to do things that professional speakers do. Like invest in yourself, hire a coach, surround yourself with the right people, read a ton of books, which is so awesome. And I love knowing that part of your story, Geoff, because it inspires me, it encourages me, because I want to learn from people who have done, who have taken the road that I'm, going on in building a business. And it makes me just want to consume content. It makes me want to, just continue to surround myself with the right people. So I absolutely love that. So one more question for you. So talk to me a little bit about how motivation and discipline differs for you. Because I would say there is a little bit of a difference there. So what would you say the difference is?
I would say there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
The motivation is the desire to do something.
Yeah.
The discipline is actually doing it.
Yep.
It is just real simple. I mean, you said it, consuming a lot of material and consuming the things that are building your mind.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I've heard a lot of people say knowledge is power. And I would disagree with that.
Yeah.
And I would say applied knowledge is power. You
that
can
is
have
so
all
good.
the knowledge in the world.
Yep.
If you don't ever do anything with it, all you have is potential.
Yep.
So there's the application of it.
Yeah.
And that is the discipline part. It's really hard because, again, we're the sum of our habits, of our daily habits.
Yep.
If you take that 1%, your 15 minutes of a day, and you dedicate it to your mind.
Yeah. I love that.
You get 1% better every day.
Yep.
If you think about it, over the course of a year, 15 minutes every single day to get your mind 1% better. Yeah. You've improved 365%.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Wow.
That is a massive, massive amount of growth. And it doesn't have to be, everybody's looking for a quantum leap. Everybody's looking for how do I get rich now? How do I improve? How do I get 6-pack abs now? Yeah. There are no shortcuts. Yeah. It is the work. It is the discipline of the work. Yeah. And it is being proactive in your future, in your mindset, and in your habits. And start with the smallest ones. Yeah. Start with ones that are, easy, that you go, okay, I kind of like that. Yeah. And then build it. And then add on to it. And then make it a little bit better. And that's how you see massive growth. There were, very few millionaires. Yeah. That everybody, self-made millionaires, they're virtually none. Yeah. They all have a team of people. They all have people helping them out. There's the people in the background that you don't hear about their stories. Yeah. And we see the person and we go, wow, that person they're a millionaire. They did it overnight. Yeah. You didn't see the 15 or 20 years it took them to get there. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're so right, Geoff, and I love that, man. And so just wrapping up here, we have about a minute left. What's one little small piece of encouragement you want to leave us with today? Oh my gosh, laugh every day. Love it. Laugh every day. Awesome. Yep. Geoff, thank you so much, man. You're a huge inspiration and encouragement to me, and I love just hearing a little bit of your story. And man, I just wish you the best, and I believe that today you inspired a lot of people to go and laugh and to really evaluate their thought life and the direction they're headed. So thank you so much, man. Awesome, Levi. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Take care, be safe, and live, laugh, love. God bless, brother.
Awesome, man. You as well, Geoff. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, you too.
We'll
Bye.
see you.